So I had a buddy down the hall ask me the question this morning of why do people come into counseling? Why do they seek therapy? And if you want a more standardized answer to that question, you can look on my website at New Leaf Counseling, but I'm thinking on a more philosophical level at the moment, so I'm going to answer in that way. Um, I think, despite the specific issues that individuals and clients come in to talk about, um, it often links back to a fear that they might have, and sometimes that fear could be of being alone. It could be a fear of losing something valuable to them. It could be fear of not having enough money. It could be fear of their ego not being validated in some way. Um, Sort of the fear of uh, who am I versus who would I like to be in my life. Um, so that sounds a little bit dark to think about, the motivation for counseling being fear, but um, it kind of reminds me of a quote by a 17th century poet named Thomas Hardy, and the quote was something like, um, "If a path to the better there be, it exacts a full look at the worst," which basically means, yeah, go have fun swimming in the pool, jump off the diving board, but know where the bottom is because you don't want to hit that. And so sometimes you do have to look at the dark side or look at those fears as a motivator. Um, I also wanted to bring in a part of a passage from a psychiatrist named Irvin Yalom, who um, writes a lot kind of on the existential angle of psychology. And he says in his book here, I have found that four givens are particularly relevant to psychotherapy: the inevitability of death for each of us and for those we love, the freedom to make our lives as we will, our ultimate aloneness, and finally the absence of any obvious meaning or sense to life. However grim these givens may seem, they contain the seeds of wisdom and redemption. Uh, so once again, sometimes looking at those fears can allow us to face them and then do something about them rather than reacting uh, or acting out in some unhealthy way. And as you can imagine, uh, people react in all kinds of unhealthy ways to their fears. A fear of aging may result in having an affair with a younger person. Um, a fear of not having enough money could result in greediness or selfishness that affects relationships. Um, so, kind of related to that idea, um, another aspect of or motivator to come into counseling, I think, is um, the distress that is created when we don't acknowledge and recognize um, our dual motivations and our mixed motivations for our behavior. So what I mean by that is that we all have mixed motivations. Things are not black and white. Life is complex, not simple, and sometimes we would like it to be more simple because it would be easier to understand. But I can, think of the scenario where someone has a motivation to be married and to enjoy everything that comes with that marriage, while having another motivation to not be married and perhaps have the freedom that they don't have in their married life. Uh, People have the motivation to be productive while at the same time having a motivation to be lazy. Um, there's a motivation to explore and to adventure, and there's a motivation for safety and security. Um, and so once you're able to identify that mixed motivation, you're more able to respond to it in a way that's healthy, and address those fears and practice and learn what you need um, to move forward in a more healthy way. So, once again, I feel like this explanation seems a little bit dark. To give it more of a positive light, most of my clients that come in are intelligent, loving, healthy individuals who are um, dealing with a difficult life circumstance and trying to find ways and tools to improve that and take care of themselves and take care of other people. And in the process of doing that, sometimes you have to look at a little bit of the darkness and clean up some messes and move forward. And I really respect my clients who have the courage to engage in that process. So, a little bit of an explanation of why people seek counseling from a more philosophical perspective, and I hope that was interesting or informative for you. Thank you.